Beach once again, and we are talking
Oh,
about Everything is Going Green. So, is everything
Yes.
going green?
Well, that was the title of pretty much of a song that was done by New Order a long time ago. But there is a certain sense which in rock music, then there's a lot more green issues we're seeing than we had done for a very long time, yeah.
You were mentioning the crowded house, right? With everywhere you go, always take the weather with you. That's green? Just because you take the weather, or just because...
I must pause to say that that's a wonderful bit of vocal there. So, yeah, I like that very much. But when they did this, then it was a song about not just green issues, or there was an element of that in it, but it was also about how weather can affect you and how you can affect the lives of people around you. You're the weather. So it wasn't quite as environmentally friendly as some people thought it was. Still a very wonderful, catchy track.
Well, he went around the world with the weather.
Yeah, exactly. But Crowded House have adopted a lot of environmental issues since then. But they have also said that the song was mainly a personal song about relationships rather than being something about pollution and the environment, as some people thought.
It's like a sense of being politically correct, carry on talking about global warming. But then you have all these big stars that fly with private jets, Ferraris, helicopter. I mean, isn't a bit of a contradiction here?
Oh, very much so. But, people are being so aware now of the perceptions that you can have if you do these things. So a lot of stars have started to think about when they go on tour, how we can have a green tour, how we can make it environmentally friendly, how we can do something to pay back to the environment.
You mentioned, Peter Seeger, who died earlier this year. Isn't that the guy that wrote If I Had a Hammer?
Yep, he's one of those names where if you don't know him, you'll certainly know his songs. Perhaps one of the most famous, of course, is an adaptation of a traditional tune called Where Have All the Flowers Gone, which was very environmentally friendly.
And he was like a bit of a pioneer on starting this whole movement. He was going around the village. What was he doing? You're mentioning...
Oh, yes. Well, he had a number of rallies in the 50s and 60s, and even towards the end of his life, he was standing alongside roads with signs saying, we must protest about the state of the environment and politics.
But nobody listened to him over there today.
Not so much as they used to, and one of the things he would have done much better in his 90s if he'd have been sitting at home and doing things on the internet rather than standing by his local road.
So we had also Michael Jackson that with the Earth song, was that the one?
Yep.
That that was about ecology basically. But
yes, he ran into some trouble at the Brits when he did that, and people said it was like a Christ-like performance.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. I mean, it was like because he came out with all these kids with open arms and stuff like that. But it was quite interesting.
Yes. Well, Michael had done a number of environmental songs. Even one of the last things he did was a spoken poem about planet Earth. He obviously felt strongly about it, and it sat sometimes badly alongside his other pop.
Then there was also Marvin Gaye, which Mercy, Mercy Me, and that was also about ecology, which is a bit strange.
Well, yes, and Motown didn't know quite what to make about this, because obviously he was a soul singer, and he was suddenly coming out with very environmentally challenging statements around that time, and all of the album What's Going On is very much an environmentally friendly piece of work, which they didn't know what to make about.
Of course, we had to be politically correct. Beyonce is with Green Light.
Well, sometimes people can get confused. It's like the Crowded House thing. It's just because someone's made a reference to green doesn't necessarily mean the whole song's about green issues. But certainly lots of people have been jumping on the bandwagon.
Don't you think that all these tracks are a bit preachy and patronizing, considered their lifestyle?
It can be, very much so. Things have changed from the times of Live Aid back in the 80s, when it was thought completely fine for someone to jump on Concorde and go across the Atlantic. Now people really think about these things, and so the helicopters stay at home, or they just don't admit to them quite so much.
Okay, well, this is all, I guess, for these new issues of Dante. Everything is going green.
Yes, indeed.
With Mark Beach.
As New Order once said.
There
nice to be here again.
Thank you,
See
Mark.
you soon. Bye.